Hi all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another video today. Today we will be getting a channeled message for the collective. This is a general read. Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, ancestors, guides, affirmation, channel messages for the collective this time. I thank you for this. Ancestors, guides, Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, I ask that you please guide me, protect me, assist me, provide me signs and guidance messages for the collective, to their benefit and to mine. Thank you for this. We'll see what messages Holy Spirit has for us today, collective. Heavenly Father, Holy Spirit, ancestors, guides, what messages do you have for the collective today? What does the collective need to know? A tower. Someone's going through a tower. Something is falling away. A collective. There could be a tower that you have just gone through. This could be a falling away of things that do not or did not serve you, or do not serve you any longer. Things that do not serve our purpose, they are destined to fall away. So I do not feel you are suffering calamity or anything like that. So if things are falling away out of your life, this is like, it's destined to happen. It was faulty, whatever it is, right? Collective, alternately, this could be someone going through a tower, okay? An actual calamity, or something shocking happening to somebody, or somebody is shocked. It's a tower for them, okay? Take it as it resonates. The Tower, thank you. Your card on the bottom here, collective. Messages about this tower. Okay, thank you. Seven of Wands and the Fray. Okay, Seven of Wands in the Fray. So, Seven of Wands. This is you defending yourself. This is you being protected. This is someone protecting you. Okay, someone's tower that they're going through could be that people around them are turning on them. So that could be the tower that they're going through. Or you could have experienced this previously where individuals surrounding you turned on you and were attacking you all at once. So this was, again, eventually it served to show you friend from foe. So these things fell away that didn't serve you. Individuals who were not in your service, or who were not for your highest good, or who were not, going to serve your purposes or the purposes of God's goodwill or grace moving forward. Like, these things fall away from your life. These individuals fall away from your life. These events, these situations, they occur and they fall away for a reason, right? Usually that reason is that either people are against you, and so it's a faulty foundation. If you're surrounded by individuals who are against you and are plotting against you, you might be unaware of it, but at some point you made choices to where you allowed yourself to be surrounded by these individuals. So again, if you are suffering, or if you have suffered this tower, I don't feel that it's a calamity, like something terrible happening to you. If anything, it feels like things falling away from your life, or individuals, moving away from you, or you isolating yourself from individuals who do not serve your highest good, one way or another, right? So these could represent towers, in your life. These could represent towers in other individuals' lives, okay? But it's a tower, and I feel like someone's group has turned on them. So like I said, this could be your past energy. This could be the story of what happened to you. But I feel that this individual or this group, they are turning on each other. Or there is an individual within the group who is feeling like everyone has turned on them, or everyone's against them now, or they're feeling like everything is coming at them at once. Maybe they feel that the tower, there's too many things coming at them at once. They can't handle bad news after bad news after bad news, or things that they feel embattled by, right? They can't handle that many at once. Okay. Again, your card on the bottom, you followed your inner guidance and wisdom. Okay, thank you. The Six of Cups. This could be about someone from the past. This could be a family or someone you have children with. This could be nostalgic memories, okay? Or this is just someone you have a past with, someone from your past. Someone, you know, you have children with, an ex or something. Or your family. This could be something stemming from childhood. I don't know, take it as it resonates. Six of Cups, family, past, childhood. Something like that. What about the Six of Cups? We're done with that? Okay. Nice. Thank you. Temperance and the Seven of Cups. Three of Swords, Temperance. Three of Swords on the bottom. Okay. Heartache. You suffered heartache. Someone is heartbroken at this time, or something is going to break someone's heart or something. Messages. Five of Wands on its side. Conflict. Conflict. There's conflict in the group. They're turning on each other. This group, or either family, like it's your family that's turning on each other. Family that you haven't spoken to in a long time. It's like family from the past. Or people who felt like family from the past. Or people who you should have been able to trust. Like I said, maybe you feel like, or maybe they did turn on you, or maybe you felt like you had to isolate yourself from people because they weren't serving your highest good. They were doing otherwise, right? They could have been, in particular, like a chaotic group, okay? This could have been a chaotic family. This could have been a toxic family dynamic that you distanced yourself from, that you healed from, that you grew out of. This could be friends, family that you no longer associate with, or it's an ex, okay, or something like that. But it was chaotic, whatever it was, the relationship, it was chaos. It was fights. It was too much competition, maybe. Individuals were too competitive with each other. Maybe there were factors in this family or this group that included people pitting each other against each other, stuff like that. So they're fighting. There's a lot of infighting right now. They're turning on each other now. They were never a happy family. It was never a happy family. What it was fighting. It was chaos. It was never a happy family. Okay? So again, you distance yourself because it was a toxic family dynamic, or you distance yourself because they broke your heart, or they were trying to break your heart. Like they did something purposefully, like they turned on you, like I said. An individual turning on you is not the same thing as an individual leaving you. That's not someone turning on you. Someone choosing to do what they want, which doesn't include you, That's not an attack on you. That's not anything against you. It doesn't actually have anything to do with you and your opinions of that person and what they're doing after they leave, and they don't have anything to do with you anymore. Your opinions don't count, and you should keep them to yourself. That's how you should operate through life. But individuals take it as a personal affront, like they did something to you if you want to leave somebody. So that's the energy I'm getting here. Like, they'll be all rah rah, want to fight the whole time, and then they'll be surprised when you act like you're hurt by their behavior, when you're not willing to pretend like it's a happy family, when you're actually outspoken or actually behave according to reality, which is it's toxic, it's fights, it's too much competition, it's unhealthy, toxic traits. The behaviors are too competitive, the behaviors are chaotic, it's a chaotic group, or, like I said, worse, they targeted you, they turned on you. That's different, okay? Individuals bought and paid for who were plants in your life, who turned on you either all at the same time, targeted you at the same time, or were, sent towards you. Either, they were paid to go toward you, or they were a plant in your life, like, they're a member of your family and they got talked into it, or whatever this is. But, for someone to turn on you or target you or harm you or do something with intent to harm you, and then them use the excuse of, oh, well, they didn't do what I wanted them to do, or they weren't acting the way I wanted them to act, or they didn't stay with me when I wanted them to stay with me. That is not an excuse. That is not a reason to go after somebody. I don't even think if someone hurts you, that's reason enough to go after somebody in retribution, because that's just going to add to your karmic debt in reality. So I believe in, being peaceful, turning the other cheek as much as possible. I mean, don't be a fool and get stepped on. Defend yourself and, watch for your surroundings. Pay attention to your inner guidance to avoid problematic situations. But should a problematic situation arise, you're well within your rights to defend yourself, and also, collective, at all times, you're well within your rights to decide who you want to associate with and who you do not want to associate with. You're well within your rights to decide who you want to be with, who you want to be in a relationship with. No one owns you, and you don't owe anybody anything. So people trying to act chaotic, or people introducing agents of chaos, even if the agents of chaos are so professional, chaotic actors, such as people who are bought and paid for, plants sent into your life or sent toward you to attempt to manipulate situations in which you are in, or to attempt to enter into false contracts with you. Paid hookers. If it's like, oh, go over there and try and see if you can, hit on the collective. Try and see if you can, get into a relationship with the collective. And then if you can, I'll keep giving you more and more money. Okay? That person is a hooker. Okay? So, this group who employs tactics such as that, this group might even be your family or people you had once considered family. Because groups like this will put on a front or a show of, familiarity, or of, camaraderie, or they'll put on a show of, happy family. Like I said, they pretended to be happy family, and they expected everyone to pretend on surface, or to pretend in public, or to, keep up the facade of some sort of happiness that was not there. What was there was chaos. What was there was individuals sowing dissent. What was there were agents placed, people bought and paid for. What was there was competition where it was not appropriate. What was there were fighting. There was a lot of fighting. A lot of combative behavior. So this broke your heart, or, someone dealt you psychological manipulative blows or whatever, and the third time you were like, I'm done with this. You're going to protect your heart. You're going to heal from this. That's what the Three of Swords in the upright is. It, it represents moving into the Four of Swords to heal from the heartache, to heal from psychological trauma. So, directly corresponding to you healing from trauma is towers in individuals' lives, probably reflective of the life that they have been leading, facades that they've been keeping up. Ivory towers built on, salt and sand that can be washed away at any moment. All it takes is a slight wind and the house of cards blows all the way down. It is unrecognizable as whatever palace they thought they were in with their paper tigers. It's ridiculous. So, towers for them. If they're turning on each other and they're eating their own, serves them right. Because they were behaving as if they owned you, because they've been doing this since you were a child. This could be your family. This could be some sort of slavery. They entered you into slavery contracts, unbeknownst to you because you were a child. And then once you, hit a certain age, it became the SEX slave. Is that what this is? Because that's the energy I feel coming up. And that's disgusting. They're like, oh, we can always hurt them and draw energy off of their heartache, their pain, until they come of age where there's a different type of sexual pain or sexual harm or sexual trauma that we can then, draw off of as well. We can exploit it. We can make money off of it. We can spend money. We can make money like it's a business. Or more accurately, treating you like you are a product to be bought and sold. Grooming. I'm getting grooming energies from this 6. So they were grooming you since you were a child, probably for the SEX slavery. So these individuals, they planned on traumatic events, and they did so by surrounding you like a pack of predators, because predators is what they are. They surrounded you and they turned on you all at once in order to enact events in your life that would reflect a narrative that they were trying to create. Okay? So due to that behavior, agents of chaos bought and paid for, right? The 5 of Wands, chaos. Skipping right over victories that you had, just going right into now they're attacking each other. It's a tower for them. They're turning on each other because, these people are liars and RAPIsts and KILLERs and MURDERs and thieves, and there's no honor among them. So it just takes one little, gust of wind and the whole house of cards falls down. That's why they're turning on each other. It didn't take much for the tower, even though this has been going on since your childhood. That just, again, it speaks to the level of corruption. It speaks to how the depths of the trauma, the depths of the betrayal, the type of betrayal that an individual will go through and suffer when their family turns on them, or when their family has had it out for them from the beginning. Like, they always planned on this. They planned on always causing chaos in your life in order to traumatize you and then re-traumatize you and then re-traumatize you again. It was a plan. Okay, what about this Five Wands? What about this Five Wands? What does the collective know about this Five Wands? Thank you. The Lovers and the Seven of Swords. Okay, collective, this could be about the SEX trafficking, like I said. Lovers lately has been giving me the trade, the SEX trade. So, people selling you into groups, or you being born into a family that is already operating within these groups, or whatever this is, I don't know, okay? But it's like they've been getting away with this for a long time. This whole group might sleep together. It might be like an SEX cult that specializes in traumatizing children, or specializes in gathering members who are willing to traumatize their own children. A combination therein. It's pretty typical among cults to expect for all members of the cult to give over entirely unto the doctrine of the cult, the leader of the cult, and then a lot of times they will expect for you to give them all of your belongings or things that they would consider belonging to you, like children. So they would expect for you to give them your money. The cult, that is, the cult leaders in the cult, they will expect for you to give them your money. They will expect for you to give them your time, your attention, all of your resources. Okay, individuals might be very gung-ho about volunteering these things at first because they have fallen under the cult mentality. They have fallen under the, oh, I have something to obsess over now, or oh, I have something to believe in now, or oh, I have a group I feel I belong to. Those are the most normal reasons somebody would join a cult, or like I said, you might be one of the poor individual folk who, were born into it, which you didn't have any choice. So, you didn't choose it, but you did choose to leave. You did choose to not participate or perpetuate a cycle of abuse. So, like I was saying in the very beginning, the towers enacted for you could have felt like people falling away while you stood tall. It could have felt like everything fell away from around you. And then from some sort of external viewing point, it might have even looked like you were going through, a very hard time. And I'm not saying it was easy for you to go through this. It's very difficult to watch everybody fall away from you. It's very difficult to feel like it's the safest thing for you to have to distance yourself from people that you should be able to trust, such as family or friends that you've had since childhood. All of that can be very difficult, but if you are the only one standing strong and everything that is fake or false falling away, and you realizing you're the only real thing, you're the only actual foundation, you're the only thing left standing when everything else falls away, there's a different type of tower. It's not the type of tower that you imagine when someone else, from an external viewpoint, someone else's life is falling apart. So from an external viewpoint, it could have looked like your life was falling apart because what you considered to be valuable in your life might differ from what the person external viewing might consider to be important in their life. If you get where I'm going with this. So an individual viewing externally, let's say it's your entire family that's turned on you and they now are disowning you or something, right? Okay. So externally, it might look like someone who cares about that sort of thing. Oh, I must belong to my family. I must belong. I must feel that I belong. I must feel accepted. I must feel that everyone approves, or I must feel that I am doing what everyone would approve of for reasons such as ... whatever, fill in the blank, for for that individual and that person's priority, or prioritizing those things, right? Or feeling that those things are important at all. You, on the other hand, you might not feel that those are important to you. You might not care what others think of you, especially others who you have deemed to be not worthy of your trust, right? Like, if someone has turned on you and then wants to run around talking about how they don't like you, okay, well, maybe you don't care that they don't like you because you don't want them around you anyway. Now they have shown their true colors to you. They're not trustworthy. They're not worthy of your time, your trust. They're not worthy of your attention. So again, you distance yourself from these individuals, or these individuals fall away because they've decided to go join some other group, or join into a group that is against you, if this is not your own family or something like that. You had members of your family that decided to do that. It's this very childish behavior where it's like individuals were so concerned with how things looked or how things appeared. They were so concerned with virtue signaling. They were so concerned with peer pressure. They were so concerned with the optics of things. They were so concerned with their position or their ranking in society. They were so concerned with, what others thought of them, how little or how much others thought of them, that they made those things important in their life. So then they started making decisions based on prioritizing those things in their life, which they're falsehoods. Because they themselves were either already garbage, or they started making garbage decisions and siding with garbage. So, you're not going to be rolling around inside of garbage and come out smelling clean. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Once you associate with garbage, you are then indistinguishable from the garbage. Period. People who behave like this are fucking trash. Especially people who go as far as to enter you into the sex slavery world. Thanks for that. Right? Lying, stealing, cheating. Or someone tried to, have a mistress or make a mistress of you or make a mister of you. Someone was trying to involve infidelity and it was found out. It's a tower. Maybe, there's individuals who thought they could trust each other, but then they find out they can't trust each other. Oh, big shocker there, right? A den of thieves and liars finds out that they can't trust each other. Shocker. So anyway, it's a tower, okay? Or there's a Gemini out here who's going through a tower, or it's a couple who's going through a tower, or it's this whole group that is sleeping together and they're turning on each other. I keep getting the phrase eating their own, which is gross because it talks about eating people, first of all. Like, that's not polite society stuff anymore, you guys, if you didn't know. And also, it talks about not only eating each other, people, but eating their own. Like, there's stuff all over the news about the disgusting behaviors that individuals are willing to get into because of what they prioritize. Because they prioritize their money, or they prioritize their family's position, or they prioritize their image, or they prioritize what they're projecting their life to be, which isn't even real. They're like up to their eyeballs in debt, or they're living on a name, or they're using someone else's finance. They're exploiting someone else's finances. Or they're exploiting you, or they're exploiting children or something. I mean, I don't even know what the fuck this is. It's gross. The energy is so gross. It's like, it's giving, I'll tell you what it's giving. It's giving cult that is like sex farming, or producing babies, right? And then using those babies for all manner of awfulness, right? And then the other parts of the cult, people will join and they'll bring their families, and these families, they have children, and those children are then subject to the same abuses that the children who are born into it. But maybe perhaps the children who are born into it, because they're born into it, they are of a different echelon within the cult, so the abuses that they suffer, they differ from the abuses of the individuals who are brought into the cult secondhand. Their abuses might differ. That's the type of tone that I'm getting here. Rich dad, poor dad, but it's in a cult, and it's about eating people, and it's also about sex trade, and it's also about all of that involving children. Oh man, I'm shaking right now. I'm so angry right now. Like this energy, you guys. Oh man. I know that it's got, the messages are gonna message, and people have gone through this, and God bless their souls, the victims of these individuals, the survivors of these individuals, and the ones that didn't make it. Having the story told, I said Tory. Someone could be from the UK. Someone could be like a legal representative, or be go back and forth. Okay. Okay. So anyway, this could be an international group. Yeah, international group. Okay. Yeah. International sex trade involving children. Okay. And they're trying to get away with it. They're still out here trying to get away with it. So they're turning on each other. They're having, closed door meetings, or whatever you want to call it, about who's gonna take the fall for what, because they know there are going to be falls, because they're already getting towers, because they're already turning on each other. So this is how some of the inner workings of the group are turning on each other. They're planning the turning on each other. Everyone is going to have a hand in killing Caesar, and they're going to say for Rome while they do it. Right? Everyone's going to have a hand in it. So they're turning on each other. The tower. So I guess someone's going to kill Caesar then. Okay? So it looks like someone not at the bottom but at the top is going to be taking the fall. So perhaps the individuals who we see who are recognizable, those are just front peoples. Well, not perhaps, this is a definite, okay? So anything you see on TV, in my opinion, allegedly, according to, completely not real, and I'm totally making all of this up and having fun for entertainment purposes only, okay? But these individuals are just front men. Anyone whose face is recognizable, there's puppet masters above them and behind them, pulling strings and working them automaton style, okay? And the individuals who are behind them, the secretive individuals who are behind them, pulling strings, the ones whose faces are not recognizable, their names might be recognizable, but their names have been changed for entertainment purposes only, right? You might not be, the anger anymore. You might be the child of anger now, right? Right? And they're just trying to get away. They're just scared little bunnies running away. But what are they running away from? I'll tell you what they're running away from, collective. They're running away from you, the masses. Y'all scare the fuck out of them. Because if it takes an entire group to come up against one individual, or or if an individual has to gather in a group to feel that they can successfully achieve something, meanwhile you're over here battling entire groups by yourself, or meanwhile you're over here dealing with things by yourself, or a combination of all of that. What does that say about your spiritual ranking? What does that say about your protection? What does that say about how good of a person you are? What does that say about death only being the beginning? These individuals know not what they do. This is the forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do energy. Because once they have a little taste, a little smell, a little feel of the repercussions of what they do, all thought of anything that they were trying to accomplish here in the mortal world will be fleeting, and it will be replaced with utter horror. The tower, the fall, is only the beginning of this. These individuals experiencing towers in their lives, it's only the beginning. Okay? Thank you. Excellent. So, you are healing from these things. The healing, it's not something that you can write down some sort of systematic checklist and say, okay, once I've accomplished these things and I have a 5-year plan and then I'm going to be healed. Yay for me. No, it's a never-ending thing. You'll always find something else to learn, and you'll always find something else that creeps up even after you have dealt with everything you can even think of that you remember that happened to you, or that you were involved in, or that you did to someone else. Everything that you've ever felt that you needed to heal from, even if you address every single one of those things, there will always be things that creep up because your subconscious mind shoved it down and put it away somewhere, filed it away somewhere. And your healthy mind will pull it back out and say, let's address this. So, this is you, healthy minded. This is you. This is your card. This is your card. Okay? Thank you so much. Messages for the collective. Are there any other different, better, hopefully messages for the are there any other messages the collective needs to know about at this time? The Magician. Control. Someone's trying to control things. Someone's trying to control the narrative. Someone's trying to manipulate things. Someone wants to manipulate things here in the material. There's been a lot of manipulation, okay? This also talks about magic. Magical events. Okay, the Magician. Beautiful. Thank you. So, okay, wishes for the fishes, you guys. We're going to get some closing messages for the collective from this. Wheel of Fortune, the Hanged Man. Okay. It's fated for people to see things from a different perspective. The Hanged Man. This is the sacrifice energy. People are sacrificing themselves with their own behavior, the downward spiral, the constriction that they're feeling in their lives. They're feeling hung out to dry. They're feeling stuck. Okay? They feel that they've sacrificed themselves. There were individuals out here trying to sacrifice you. There were individuals out here who did not make it, God rest their souls, who were sacrificed. Messages for the collective. Wishes for the fishes, please. The Ten of Wands. A heavy burden that you'll be able to soon put down. A burdensome period. Burden. Being weary, being put upon. Okay. What about this 10 Wands? What does the collective need to know about this 10 Wands? Wishes for the fishes, please. What does the collective need to know about this 10 Wands? The 7 of Cups. It's an illusion. Someone's trying to burden you with an illusion. Okay, someone might have been telling tall tales about you being burdened, about you being under so much stress and under so much weight that you were just about to break. But it was just an illusion, so it was a big facade. Or someone is actually burdened because they didn't know whose cup to pour into. They didn't understand that they were entertaining too many options, or they were confused. There were illusions being cast that they bought into. They believed lies, stuff like that. They wanted to believe lies. They were confused. They weren't giving enough to themselves, that sort of thing. So they picked up burdens that didn't belong to them, or they allowed themselves to carry burdens that, didn't belong to them, or they allowed themselves to feel burdened by situations that they could have just let go of at any time because of their priorities, right? If someone is prioritizing something that, they feel, oh, well, I'll just have to do this. I just have to get here, and my 5-year plan, and then we're done, or whatever. And then that day comes and goes, and it's still the same story from whoever it is who's burdening them. It's still the same story. You gotta know you're being lied to at some point, right? I mean, fool you once, shame on you. Fool you twice, shame on you. Or fool you once, shame on them. Fool you twice, shame on you. I always mess up the sayings, you guys. Okay. All right. So, anyway, someone might be having a different perspective. Someone's perspective might be shifting as to the burdensome events that they've been suffering, or the burdens that they feel they've been carrying that maybe don't belong to them, and the illusions that have been cast over their life, the lies that they have chosen to believe, because it's easier to believe a lie a lot of times, because it's more comfortable to stay in something that you know, even if it's hurting you, because the unknown is scary. It's uncomfortable. So a lot of times someone who is already burdened, is used to taking on burdens, is used to feeling burdens, they will then attract burdens or individuals who are willing to burden someone in order to relieve themselves of a burden. This type of behavior, you deserve what you get if you're creating your own life. If you're always talking about how, everybody always puts everything on you, and you always have to carry everybody else's weight, and nobody ever pulls their own weight around here. Nobody ever does what they say they're going to do. You're the only one who can take care of anything. And then you're the one who is actually, taking up other people's work. Like, you asked for it. Stop creating scenarios in which you're going to be burdened if what you're saying is you don't want to be burdened. You can't have it both ways. You got to pick one. You can't be the hero and the victim. You got to pick one. Right? So silly. So, individuals casting illusions over their own life, choosing to believe lies, right? That sort of thing. People confusing wants with needs. So there might be a big shift in the consciousness right now as to people's perspectives on things. Their perspective might be changing. There might be a big shift as to what people are considering important now. Things that were important to them previously might not be so important anymore. So they might find it a little easier to put down something that feels burdensome if they don't feel that they have to prioritize it above everything else, even their own safety or health, right? Because we've all been conditioned from pretty early on to, deal with life as life has been thrown at us, but there's a lot of manipulation in life. There's a lot of, people lying to each other and then eventually lying to themselves and wanting to accept the lie because it's easier than, learning and believing the truth, because that shit a lot of times hurts. Knight of Wands. It's not relevant though. Okay, thank you. feel like this is not really a cohesive message yet. Ace of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. Let's get some closing messages for the collective about this. Ace of Cups, Six of Cups. Six of Cups on the bottom. Listen, Nina, what is it happening now? Closing messages, please. Oh, the Three of Wands, inverted. Someone can't travel. Someone feels like they're, you know, just constantly waiting and watching, and they never get to see any ships roll in. This is giving me that same energy. If somebody is just very, it's like all they do is complain, and then they expect for people to just put up with it, just deal with it, however they act. You know, they'll bitch and moan and piss and whine and complain all day, every day, and then they expect people to just put up with it. Don't say anything about it. Don't act like how I'm behaving is anything you should be talking about. It's none of your business. I'll act however I want. I'm more important than you, that sort of thing. Okay? Someone is expecting other people to pick up their slack. They'll make excuses for themselves. Okay? So someone is, you know, in this stuck energy where they feel like they're always waiting. So, but they never actually put any plans into action. They're always talking about things that they want. Maybe they are always talking about doing stuff, but they never actually do stuff. Maybe they're always making plans or starting projects, but never finishing them or never actually bringing anything to fruition. Remember, they're always making promises that they never keep or they don't even intend on keeping. And again, nobody should be saying anything to them about this. This is their behavior, at least. They don't expect for anyone to call them on their shit. And when someone does call them on their shit, they start playing the victim. Oh, I'm so put upon. Oh, I can't believe you brought up things that are hurting me right now. I'm going to cry about it. I'm going to yell about it. I'm going to try and talk circles around you. I'm going to try and cause confusion. And even the conversation, so you don't even want to continue having the conversation. This is the type of tactics as this individual tries to use. Okay, thank you. Listen, Linda, what is the card mean now? Closing messages, please. What about this? Okay, Ace of Swords. That's the truth. This person is a schmuck, and you should dump him right away. Okay. Okay, I'm just kidding. No, don't take my advice on marital or relationship advice. Okay, take your own advice, however you feel. Okay, however you know the truth to be. You don't need any explaining. What you know to be true, you don't need to verify. You already fucking know. If you feel that this individual is always talking and never doing, get away from that. That's just going to drag you down in life. This energy is just they're like a energy vampire. They expect to take and never have to give. They expect to just cause a scene or cry or act like they don't know what you're talking about in order to get out of every situation. They'll just lie. They'll just lie their way out of it. They'll sow confusion. They thrive in confusion. So get away from them. If this sounds like somebody you know and you haven't already got away from them, get away from them, okay? But that's what this energy is. Or I'm describing the individual whom you sloughed off, and it's a tower for them. Six of Cups, someone from your past, someone you have kids with perhaps, someone from your family, or someone you've known since childhood, or someone you have kids with like an ex. They're going through a tower right now because of their own behavior, because of their own ways, because of their own bad habits. They might be involved in a group that is turning on them or has turned on them. strength. Okay, collective. This is the other card that Holy Spirit feels like is representing you a lot lately. It comes out in like every read. The strength card. Okay, you could be a Leo. Okay, this represents the feminine strength. So this is not a brute force. This is you choosing yourself and walking away. That's the type of strength that you showed. You endured individuals' bad behaviors, or you endured individual turning on you, or you endured individual, whatever they did. You endured it. That was the feminine strength right there. And then you chose yourself, again, feminine strength, and walked away. Feminine strength. Endurance. You showed that you were strong enough to eat whatever energy anybody wanted to throw at you and still remain strong. You're well represented by this figure of strength. Ace of Swords and strength. That's beautiful. Okay. You could have a strong magnetic pull for people right now. You could be very magnetic. It could be very strong. You could be a strong, whatever it is you're doing, you're strong at it. You're a strong person. Whatever skills you have, you're strongly good at it. You're like, if you're an artist, you're a strong artist. 5 of Cups, someone's sad. Death. Someone is sad, they're grieving a loss. Collective, if this is you, if you have suffered a loss, my condolences. But I feel that this is someone external to you, possibly even your ex who has suffered a loss. Again, if it's a familial thing, my condolences. But this could have something to do with like a death cult. Like I was talking about, this cult scenarios I was talking about earlier. There could be crimes involving, death. So crimes in regards to death, okay? Take that as it resonates, all right? Or someone is sad because they've suffered a loss, they're grieving death, the 5 of Cups. Someone is sad. Someone has clarity, Ace of Swords, strong. Someone has strong intuition. Someone has strong clarity. Someone has, this is strong evidence of either grief due to a passing, or there's strong evidence against someone in regards to a crime involving, the passing of an individual. Again, my condolences if this is your situation and you know of what it is I speak, but this individual is sad now. 6 of Cups on the bottom. Someone from your past or nostalgic memories. You might have been using nostalgic memories to come out of a state of depression after suffering a loss. This provided clarity, a strong clarity. Or you had a strong mental space. You needed a strong mental space in order to escape this family or this cult or whatever this is. You needed a strong mental space in order to not succumb to the mechanisms of torture and abuse and corruption and all of the surrounding things around it. You needed a very strong mental space to be able to survive, because you're a survivor of this, okay? Even though, the death card is out here and individuals did suffer death, individuals were perpetrators of crimes involving death, I'm not talking to a past individual. Collective, I'm talking to a happy, healthy, well-rounded individual member of the collective here, if not the entire group. So the death, it was not yours. It might have been planned for you. They might have planned your death. Again, just one more thing they were willing to exploit, right? Okay, thank you. Anything else, Miss? Anything else? you. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. So there's evidence against someone planning your death. There's strong evidence against someone planning your death, or you already know this. You have a strong knowing of this. You don't need the evidence, even though the evidence is there. You personally don't need the evidence. You already have the knowledge. You don't need to prove something you already know. Right? Also, this is evidence that's actually here. Like I said, the evidence is there. So for individuals who do need the evidence, such as individuals in law whose job it is to bring perpetrators of crimes to justice, will need this evidence, and the evidence is there. It's clear evidence, It's strong and clear evidence of wrongdoings in regards to individuals' passings. Okay, collective, so that's why this group is turning on each other, because they thought they were going to do these things to you. They might have done these things to you. They might have gotten away with worse to others, obviously involving death, right? But that's why they're turning on each other now, because they're not getting away with it anymore. The protections that they felt they had, or that they did enjoy previously, those protections are gone. The life that they lived before is gone. So it's a tower for them. Till next time, you guys, bye.